Alright guys, we're here with Howard Wolfe. He's a descendant from the Mr. Henry Wolfe here in what was once called Wolfe Valley, I believe. What I think was probably one of the largest apple and peach brandy distilleries in southern Indiana, pre-Prohibition obviously. So Mr. Wolfe here is the last descendant there of that line. And the last person that I've heard of, that I know of, and that he knows of, that could really tell us anything much about the family and the distilling history here. Mr. Wolfe's family, had they continued in the distilling business after Prohibition, they may have gained a name very similar to the Beams and their bourbon distilling, but through the apple brandy line in southern Indiana. Of course, southern Indiana was the largest producer of apple brandy in the entire world between the years 1870 and 1914, and Mr. Wolfe, of course, is a descendant of that tradition as well. So we've been sitting here chatting back and forth quite a bit, and he's told me a lot of his family history and a lot of little stories here and there, and I'll let him kind of introduce himself and talk about the people who came before him, as far as Henry Wolfe and his descendants there, and how we get to him. And so here we go.
All right, I'm Howard E. Wolfe, the grandson of Andrew Jackson Wolfe, that owned Wolfe Distilleries. And when Prohibition come in, he went out, and but I cleaned the distillery up in 1953. And all the peach seeds and the barrel hoops and the well and the boiler concrete platform was there. Everything was there except the building. Everything had been torn down. And they made an up at the house, and then he had two buildings there, and then he stored it barrels in one building, and then the other one that was that's where he sold the bottles. And all he done was just drive around in a buggy and collect the money. And he also was in the sawmill business too. And he had several people that worked for him. But he bought peaches by the wagon loads. Probably, I don't know how many wagon loads at one time would be sitting there. I mean, several. And
you were saying before too, when you cleaned up the distillery as well, when you cleaned up the peach pits that were there, there were quite a number of those, weren't there?
There was about 2 pickup truck loads.
That's a good amount of peaches.
But now those peach seeds were not damaged. They were just intact, just like a peach seed looked like.
So they were probably mashing whole peaches in the barrel and letting them ferment that way.
They must have broke up.
Yeah.